Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're getting you prepped for a Kiln Fire interview.
Ooh, exciting.
We've got some awesome guides from RoleCatcher, their career and interview guides.
Yeah.
And we are going to help you make a blazing impression.
It's going to be good.
All right, so let's unpack this. What exactly does a Kiln Firer do?
So a lot of people think kiln firing is just about loading and firing a kiln.
Right.
But there is so much more to it.
Yeah.
They're responsible for the entire firing process from start to finish.
Okay.
And that includes things like loading the kiln, setting the firing schedule, monitoring the temperature, and making adjustments as needed.
So it's not just like setting it and forgetting it.
Not at all.
You're really kind of babysitting it the whole time.
Absolutely. It's a blend of technical expertise and artistry, really.
I see. So there's that element of like, you're not just like turning knobs. You have to have a feel for it.
Yeah, you need to understand how the materials react to heat.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to interpret the visual cues and make those adjustments.
So like you were saying, there's more to it than meets the eye.
Exactly.
And speaking of what meets the eye, the guides mention specific skills like adjust oven temperature and control kiln firing. What do those actually look like in practice?
Well, think about it this way. You're not just baking a pizza here.
Right.
You're transforming raw materials with heat.
Mm-hmm.
So adjust oven temperature really means understanding how different materials react to heat.
Right.
And then making precise adjustments to achieve those desired results.
Okay.
And control kiln firing, that's all about managing that entire firing cycle.
Yeah.
Taking into account things like the type of kiln,
Right.
the glazes being used, and even the weather conditions.
Oh, wow. So you're taking all these things into account.
It can get pretty complex.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of problem solving is involved.
Definitely.
So what kind of questions could they ask in the interview to assess that?
Well, a really common one is describe a time you had to troubleshoot a problem during a firing cycle. What did you do, and what was the outcome?
Okay, so that's a classic.
It is.
And it sounds kind of intimidating, but it's actually a great opportunity
It is.
to showcase your skills.
Exactly. So think of a real example where maybe the temperature fluctuated unexpectedly or a glaze didn't react as planned.
I thought they went wrong.
Yeah, and walk them through the steps you took to identify the problem, the solution you implemented, and the end result.
Okay.
Did you have to adjust the firing schedule? Did you consult with a more experienced colleague? You know, they want to see that you can think critically under pressure.
They want to see how you handle the heat.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What are some other types of questions they might ask?
Well, they might ask, how do you ensure even temperature distribution throughout the kiln during firing?
Okay, so that was a bit more technical.
Yeah, it is. And this is where your technical knowledge comes in.
Okay.
So you'll want to mention specific tools and techniques,
Okay.
like pyrometers, which are devices that allow us to measure the kiln's internal temperature without opening it, and thermocouples, which are sensors that provide continuous temperature readings from specific points.
I see.
So explain how you use these tools to monitor and adjust the kiln's controls to ensure everything is firing evenly.
So it's really showing them that you understand both the why and how behind the process.
That's it.
You're not just following a recipe.
Right. You understand the science behind it.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to get a little technical.
Right.
It shows you're passionate and knowledgeable about the craft.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Now, I know RoleCatcher has this really cool AI feature, and it can actually help with crafting answers.
It can.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Absolutely. It analyzes the job description and suggests keywords and phrases that resonate with the specific role.
Mm-hmm.
It can even give feedback on your tone and clarity, making sure you sound confident and articulate.
Oh, wow.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
That's incredible. All right, back to the questions. What about experience with different types of kilns? How would that come up in an interview?
They might ask, can you describe your experience working with different types of kilns?
Okay.
And this is where you can showcase any specializations,
Right.
whether it's electric, gas, or wood-fired kilns.
Mm-hmm.
If your experience is limited, that's okay.
Hey.
Just express your eagerness to learn new kiln technologies.
Okay.
Highlight your transferable skills.
Right.
Like adjust oven temperature, which, applies across different types.
Yeah.
You can even mention industry trends toward more energy-efficient kilns to show your forward thinking.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So even if you haven't worked with a specific type, you can still show that you're adaptable and willing to learn.
Absolutely.
That's a great tip.
And, it shows that you're keeping up with the industry.
Exactly. Now, this job also involves working with other people, right? So how does that translate into potential interview questions?
Well, they might ask, Tell me about a time you had to give directions to a helper during the firing process. How did you ensure clear communication and effective teamwork?
So that's interesting,
It is.
because it's not just about being a skilled operator, it's about being a leader as well.
Right. It's about leadership and communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
So think about a time when you had to explain a procedure, delegate tasks, or maybe even correct someone's mistake.
Okay, so it's not just about like barking orders.
No, not at all.
It's about clear and respectful communication.
Exactly. So highlight your ability to explain complex information clearly, listen to feedback,
Mm-hmm.
and create that collaborative environment where everyone feels safe and supported.
I see.
You can even mention strategies you use, like providing written instructions or using visual aids
Okay.
to ensure everyone is on the same page.
So it's really about showing you can be both a skilled operator and a team leader.
Exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answers to highlight those leadership qualities, using language that aligns with the specific job requirements.
So we're really tapping into all these different aspects of the job, not just the technical skills.
It's the whole package.
Okay, this is giving me a much better sense of the types of questions to expect.
Good.
What other challenges might they throw my way?
Let's look at one that often trips people up. What are your salary expectations for this role?
Ooh, yeah, the salary question.
It can be uncomfortable, but it's crucial to be prepared.
Yeah.
So before the interview, research industry standards and comparable salaries for similar roles in your area.
Right, do your homework.
Exactly.
Don't just go in blind.
No.
So how can we use RoleCatcher to help us with this?
Well, you can use RoleCatcher's salary data tools
Oh, okay.
to get a better understanding of the market value for your skills and experience.
So knowing my worth is key.
Absolutely. And then practice articulating a salary range that reflects your experience and qualifications. Be confident and professional when discussing it. You're bringing valuable skills to the table, so don't undervalue yourself.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to get flustered during salary negotiations, but being prepared and knowing my worth is essential.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I'm curious about how to really showcase my passion for this work during an interview. What kind of question might give me that opportunity?
They might ask something like, tell me about a time you went above and beyond in your role as a kiln firer.
Okay, so tell me about a time when you really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's not just about doing your job, it's about showcasing that dedication and passion.
Exactly.
What are some examples that might resonate with interviewers?
Maybe you experimented with a new glaze technique,
Oh, okay.
or helped a colleague troubleshoot a difficult firing,
Right.
or volunteered to lead a safety training session.
Right, so going above and beyond.
Exactly.
So it's really about showing that you're not just clocking in and clocking out.
Yeah, you're invested.
You're really invested in the craft,
You're passionate about it.
and you want to learn and grow.
Exactly.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
And I'm feeling much more confident about tackling those tough interview questions.
Good.
But I'm sure there's more.
There is always more.
So let's keep going with part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back after a short break.
See you soon. And those stories can really make you stand out in an interview.
Yeah, I bet.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm starting to get fired up about these questions.
Good.
Let's keep going. What other challenges could they throw my way?
Well, they often like to assess your adaptability.
Mhm.
So they might ask, tell me about a time you had to adapt to a change in the firing process. How did you handle it? So, maybe a new type of glaze was introduced,
Right.
or a kiln malfunctioned,
Uh-oh.
or a production deadline shifted unexpectedly.
So something unexpected.
Yeah, things happen.
And how did you handle that?
Right.
Okay.
So this is where those problem-solving skills really come in.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did you adjust your approach? Did you have to research a new technique? Did you collaborate with others to find a solution? Interviewers want to see that you can think on your feet and handle those unexpected situations.
They want to know that you can roll with the punches.
Exactly.
You're not going to just shut down when something doesn't go according to plan.
Right, you're flexible.
You're resourceful.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And remember, the RoleCatcher Interview Guide has a whole section on these competency-based questions
Okay.
with tips and example answers to help you prepare.
Right.
And their AI can even analyze your responses and provide feedback,
Oh, wow.
suggesting ways to make your answers even stronger.
That's really helpful.
Yeah, it is.
So like we said before, it's like having a personalized interview coach in your pocket.
It is, definitely.
Speaking of preparation, I know we touched on safety earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but the career guide really emphasizes how important it is in this job.
It is, for sure.
So what are some specific questions interviewers might ask to gauge my safety awareness?
Well, a common one is, how do you prioritize safety when working with kilns?
Okay.
So this is where you showcase your understanding of the potential hazards
Right.
and your proactive approach to risk mitigation.
So you're not just saying, oh yeah, safety is important.
No, you're showing them.
You're demonstrating it.
Exactly.
Right.
So mention those essential safety protocols.
Like, give me some examples.
Wearing protective gear,
Right.
inspecting equipment regularly,
Okay.
and maintaining a clean and organized workspace.
So basic things, but important.
Absolutely.
And it shows that you take it seriously.
Right. It demonstrates your commitment to a safe working environment.
Okay, so it's not just about knowing the rules, it's about demonstrating that genuine concern for safety.
Yes.
What are some good ways to convey that during an interview?
Well, you could share an anecdote about a time you identified a potential safety hazard
Okay.
and took steps to address it.
So you saw something and you did something.
Exactly.
Okay.
It shows initiative and a real commitment to well-being.
Right.
Or you could talk about a time you helped implement a new safety procedure or trained a colleague on proper safety protocols.
So going above and beyond in terms of safety.
Exactly.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into another challenging question.
Okay.
What about those situations where you have to make tough decisions? Like, sometimes there's no easy answer.
Right.
What kind of question would they ask about that?
They might ask something like, describe a time you had to make a difficult decision related to a kiln firing. What factors did you consider, and what was the outcome?
Okay, so they want to know how you think under pressure,
Exactly.
how you make decisions.
It's about showcasing your judgment and decision-making skills,
Okay.
especially under pressure.
So I imagine there are situations where you have to weigh different factors like time constraints, material costs,
Yes.
and of course, safety. So how do you talk about that in an interview?
Well, think of a real example.
Okay.
Maybe you had to decide whether to adjust a firing schedule
Right.
due to unforeseen circumstances,
Okay.
or you had to reject a batch of materials that didn't meet quality standards.
Right. So tough decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then walk them through your thought process.
Okay.
Explain the factors you considered, the information you gathered, and how you ultimately arrived at your decision.
So it's not just about the decision itself.
No.
It's about how you got there.
Exactly. Demonstrating a clear and logical thought process.
Right.
And remember, be prepared to discuss the outcome of your decision.
Both good and bad.
Yes, both the positive and negative aspects.
Okay.
What did you learn from the experience? What would you do differently next time? Interviewers appreciate honesty and self-awareness.
So it's okay to admit that you maybe didn't make the perfect decision.
Yeah, it's about learning and growing.
Right. And showing that you can reflect on your experiences.
That's exactly.
That's a great point. Okay. I'm ready for another challenge.
All right, let's do it.
What other types of questions might they throw my way?
Let's switch gears and talk about continuous learning.
Go.
The career guide highlights the importance of staying up to date in this field, as new techniques and technologies are constantly emerging.
Right. You don't want to get left behind.
Exactly.
So how would you respond to a question like, how do you stay current with the latest advancements in kiln firing?
Okay, so this is a great opportunity to demonstrate passion
Okay.
and a commitment to professional development.
Yeah, for sure.
So attending industry conferences and workshops is a fantastic way to learn from experts, network with other professionals, and see new equipment firsthand.
Okay.
You could also mention joining professional organizations like the American Ceramic Society,
Right.
which offers access to journals, online forums, and mentorship opportunities.
So it's about really immersing yourself in the kiln firing community
Yes.
and taking advantage of the resources available.
Exactly.
What about online resources?
Oh, there are tons of valuable online resources.
Like what?
Websites, blogs, and YouTube channels dedicated to kiln firing can provide tips, tutorials, and insights into new techniques.
Right. So you can learn a lot online these days.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Don't forget to mention those as well, because it shows initiative
Right.
and a willingness to learn independently.
So it's not just about formal training.
No.
It's about that genuine curiosity
Yes.
and that desire to keep expanding your knowledge.
Exactly.
And speaking of knowledge, I'm sure they're also interested in how well you understand the specific requirements of the role.
Right. They want to know that you've done your research.
So what kind of question would they ask about that?
A common question is, what do you understand to be the key responsibilities of a kiln firer in this particular role?
Okay, so this is where my research on the company comes in handy.
Yes. Study the job description carefully, noting the key skills and responsibilities they're looking for. So you should be prepared to articulate how your skills and experience align with their specific needs.
Right. I'm showing them that I'm not just applying for any kiln fire job.
Exactly.
I'm interested in this particular job at this company.
Yes.
Okay.
For example, if the job description emphasizes experience with a particular type of kiln
Okay.
or a specific firing technique,
Right.
highlight those areas in your answer.
Okay.
You can even use the keywords from the job description to tailor your response.
Oh, that's a good tip
Yeah,
because it shows that you've really paid attention
exactly.
and that you understand their needs.
Yes, it demonstrates that you've carefully considered the role
Right.
and how your qualifications make you a strong fit.
Okay, using their language shows that I'm paying attention.
Yes.
That's a great tip.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you identify those keywords and phrases.
Right.
And suggest ways to weave them into your answers naturally.
So it's not just about like throwing in buzzwords.
No, it's about making it sound natural.
Right?
It can even analyze the company's website and social media presence
Oh, wow.
to give you insights into their culture and values,
Oh.
so you can tailor your responses accordingly.
Okay. RoleCatcher is officially my new best friend.
It's a great tool.
This AI is a game changer.
It is.
Now, I'm curious, how do I handle those questions that are a bit more abstract?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yes, that's a classic.
It is.
It's about assessing your career goals and how they align with the company's vision.
Okay.
So while it's tempting to give a specific job title,
Right. I want to be the head kiln fire.
exactly,
Perfect.
it's more effective to focus on your aspirations
Okay.
and how you see yourself contributing to the company's success.
Okay. So instead of saying, I want to be the head kiln fire, what would be a better answer?
You could say something like, I see myself mastering new techniques and taking on leadership roles and contributing to the company's growth.
So it's more about your overall goals and how you want to grow with the company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can even tie it back to those industry trends we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
like the growing demand for energy-efficient firing techniques. You could say something like, I see myself becoming an expert in sustainable kiln firing practices
Okay.
and helping the company reduce its environmental footprint.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
So it shows that you're not just thinking about yourself.
right.
You're thinking about the bigger picture
Exactly.
and the company's values.
Yes.
That's a fantastic example.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, this deep dive has been incredibly helpful.
Good.
I feel much more confident about tackling those tough interview questions.
That's great.
But I know there are always more curveballs.
There are.
What other challenges should I be prepared for?
Let's talk about those behavioral questions
Okay.
that aim to assess your soft skills and personality. So they might ask something like, tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult colleague or customer.
Oh, yeah, those are always tough.
They can be.
Okay, so what's the best way to handle those kinds of questions?
Well, this is about showcasing your interpersonal skills,
Okay.
your ability to handle conflict effectively, and your professionalism in challenging situations.
So it's not about bad-mouthing someone.
No, not at all.
It's about showing how you navigate those difficult interactions.
Exactly.
Oh.
So choose an example that highlights your communication skills, your ability to stay calm under pressure, and your focus on finding solutions.
Right, so not just getting defensive.
No, be proactive.
Okay.
So maybe you had a colleague who wasn't following safety protocols, or a customer who was unhappy with the results of a firing.
Okay, so common workplace conflicts.
Yeah, those kinds of situations. And then walk them through the situation, explaining the steps you took to address the issue and the outcome.
So you're showing them that you can handle conflict professionally.
That's
And
Great.
effectively.
exactly. And be prepared to discuss what you learned from the experience.
So did it change how you approach similar situations in the future?
Right.
What strategies did you develop for managing conflict?
Exactly.
Okay, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Reflecting on those experiences shows that you're always striving to improve your interpersonal skills.
Yes, it shows growth.
Okay, I'm ready for another curveball.
All right, bring it on.
What else could they throw my way?
They might ask you about your creative process.
Ooh, okay.
So a question like, how do you approach a new firing project?
Yeah.
Can reveal a lot about your problem-solving skills, your attention to detail, and your passion for the craft.
So this is where I get to really showcase my artistic side.
Exactly. So talk about your research process, how you gather inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
and how you translate those ideas into a firing plan.
So do you sketch out your designs?
Right?
Do you experiment with different glaze combinations?
Yep.
Do you consult with other artists?
It's all part of the process.
Okay.
So you're taking them behind the scenes and letting them see your passion and your process.
Right. I'm showing them what makes me tick
Yes.
as a kiln firer.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can even tie it back to some of the skills mentioned in the career guide.
Okay.
Like determine level and uniformity of oven temperature and regulate firing atmosphere.
Right.
Explain how those technical skills play a role in your creative process.
So I'm connecting those technical skills to my artistic vision.
Exactly.
That's a great way to do it.
It is.
Okay. I'm feeling much more prepared to handle those unexpected questions.
Good.
What else should I keep in mind as I prepare for this interview?
Well, remember, the interview is a two-way street.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's an opportunity for you to learn more about the company and the role
Okay.
and to assess whether it's a good fit for you.
So it's not just about impressing them.
Yeah.
It's about gathering information
Yes.
to make an informed decision.
Exactly.
I've-
So prepare some thoughtful questions of your own.
Like what kind of questions?
You can ask about the company's culture,
Mm-hmm.
the team dynamics, or opportunities for professional development.
Right.
You could inquire about specific projects they're working on,
Mm-hmm.
the types of kilns they use,
Okay.
or their commitment to sustainability.
Right. So things that are important to me.
Exactly.
Wow.
Asking insightful questions demonstrates your engagement and your genuine interest in the role.
So I'm not just there to answer their questions.
Right.
I'm there to learn about them as well.
Exactly.
That's a great reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling much more confident and prepared to ace this interview.
Good.
This deep dive has been incredibly helpful.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Now, for our listeners who are eager to delve deeper into the world of kiln firing
Yes.
and learn more about how RoleCatcher can help them land their dream job,
Mm-hmm.
where can they find those incredible resources?
Well, we'll be sure to include links to RoleCatcher's career and interview guides in the show notes,
Perfect.
along with some other helpful resources we've mentioned throughout our conversation.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And remember, whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your kiln firing journey,
Mm-hmm.
the world of ceramics is full of possibilities waiting to be explored.
It is.
So fire up your imaginations, stoke those creative flames,
Yes.
and let your passion ignite.
Beautifully said.
All right, well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of kiln firing.
It does.
We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit fiery.
A little bit.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
Bye, everyone. It sounds like you're in great shape for this interview. Remember, preparation is key, and you've already done so much work.
I feel like I have,
You have.
but I'm always up for more.
Great.
What other questions should I be prepared for?
Okay, let's talk about questions that really dig into your work style,
Okay.
how you handle those challenges.
Okay, give me an example.
They might ask something like, describe your approach to maintaining a consistent firing schedule when dealing with multiple projects and deadlines.
Okay, yeah, because that sounds realistic.
It is.
You're probably working on more than one thing at a time.
Right, it's about multitasking, prioritizing, all of that.
So how do you answer that one?
Think about a time when you had to juggle multiple firings, each with its own unique requirements and deadlines.
Okay.
Did you use a scheduling system? Did you break down those projects into smaller tasks? Did you communicate regularly with clients or colleagues to keep them informed?
So it's about being organized.
Definitely, and being a good communicator.
So it's not just about getting the work done.
Right, it's about how you get it done.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about those questions that really explore your passion for the craft. You know, get you talking about what you love.
Okay, yeah, I like those kinds of questions.
Me too. They might ask something like, what excites you most about the field of kiln firing?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is. This is where you really let your enthusiasm shine through.
Okay, so what would be a good answer to that?
Share what truly captivates you about kiln firing. Is it the transformative power of heat? The endless possibilities for experimentation? The satisfaction of creating beautiful objects? You know, let your passion flow.
So I don't have to overthink it?
No, just be genuine.
Let my personality show.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Good.
What other types of questions should I be prepared for?
Let's go back to problem solving. They might ask something like, Describe a time you had to make a decision without all the necessary information.
Okay, yeah, that happens sometimes.
It does. So how did you approach the situation? What was your process?
So they want to know how I make decisions when things are a bit unclear.
Exactly. Did you consult with colleagues, do some research, experiment with different approaches?
So it's about showing that I can think on my feet,
Yes, and that you're resourceful.
even when I don't have all the answers.
Right. And remember, communication is key, so explain how you kept others informed during the process.
Transparency is important.
It is. Okay, let's wrap up with a question that often comes at the end of an interview. Do you have any questions for us?
Oh yeah, I always forget about that part.
It's important. It's your chance to gather information and see if the role is a good fit for you.
So what are some good questions to ask?
You can ask about the company culture, the team, opportunities for growth. You can inquire about specific projects they're working on, the kilns they use, their commitment to sustainability.
So really anything that's important to me.
Exactly. Asking insightful questions shows you're engaged and genuinely interested.
I'm going to write some of these down.
Good idea.
This has been so helpful. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Remember, confidence is key. You've got the skills, the passion, and now the preparation. Go out there and shine.
I will. And to our listeners, we hope you found this deep dive into the world of kiln firing insightful and empowering. Remember to check out those RoleCatcher resources for even more tips to help you land your dream job. Until next time, keep learning and keep diving deep.